Hello, Chupirins. I am doing two lives right now. I'm going to do one on YouTube and one on TikTok. And on one TikTok got a little bit chopped off because the title really is Society's Role in Mental and Emotional health for Women. But I couldn't really put that full title there. So I had to chop it off a little bit and do my best on what that really is. And I wanted to do this video because I received the news about this influencer, content creator who was very passionate about saving animals and like really contributing in such a deep level that I feel like very few people go to such a level to be a contribution to really like support and help others. And I just realized I have the towel here. Put it there to dry. Because it's so humid where we are. I hope everybody is safe and you're doing well with the heat, because where we are, it's super hot. In fact, I have the AC right here, but I turned it off for right now for this live just so that you can hear me. But yeah, I feel like people like her, and I don't remember her name. I don't want to butcher her name, but basically, and I also don't want to go into detail of mentioning who it is. Well, I'm debating what I should or shouldn't. Okay, you know what? Like the post said today on my page, leaving fear out. So fear is my best friend. I think it's Kayla, or she's Save a Fox. That was her Instagram, and it really saddened me to find out what happened, and that this person did not see any other solution, any other way out, but um, to leave this place, right? And the reason why I am, and I think I have a poll that I wanted to put here for everybody. Where is I created it beforehand. Can I quick poll? Okay, never mind. So I thought I had it here on TikTok. I had a poll that I wanted to ask specifically the women and how they feel on how they manage their daily, like how do they feel they're managing their emotional state. Do they feel like people around them understand them? Do you feel, and I'm asking you, do you feel like people around you, the closest people to you, really understand you and they get you? Like, they get your emotional needs, your mental needs, or do you don't feel that? And if you felt that, like, when was the last time you felt that people actually got you, but like fully got you, either because you told them or because they know you very well, you build a relationship with them where they actually know you very well? Whichever one is for you, please share it with me. I'm curious. I would love to know. Hello there. I love how a few people are joining, and I hope you stay, because this conversation, I think, is super important to have. We don't have conversations around our mental and emotional health enough, specifically for women. Why do I say this? I say this first as a woman, and I say this as someone who has been on her own. I was alone pretty much my young adult life until I met my husband. Even before that, I was in a relationship. Well, not right before. For many years, I wasn't. But even in that relationship, when I was like really young, in my like 21, 22, 23, I never felt like that person actually understood me and got me. And as I got older, I realized that actually this person was in many ways indirectly very manipulative. Well, not indirectly, but directly very manipulative. Possibly he didn't realize that he was doing it, that the environment maybe he grew up in. But nonetheless, that created for me to go even deeper into my insecurities, right? And that's something that men tend to do. They find ways to manipulate women so that they can so-called help them out. They're like supporting you, raising you up, when in reality, in the long run, they're actually hurting you. So the reason why I want to have this conversation is because we might feel alone. I felt alone for that whole period, and even more than that. Um, I felt like nobody got me, and no family was around. Like, my family wouldn't call and say, "Hey, how you doing? Do you need anything?" Like, at least like the basics, like, do you have food? Can you pay your rent? Like, none of those things. I didn't have anyone reach out to me for those things. Like, I remember my stepmom was around, but I felt like I was more of a support for her than she was for me. Like, that support where I understood her, and there was very rare moments where I felt she actually got me or understood me. So I had to search for help outside of my circle. Like, my circle was not a support system for me at all. um Specifically to my emotional and mental health, like that part, 100% sure they were not. In fact, a lot of times they were the reason why I would be in a really dark place, where why I would be struggling and why I needed to get help, because they yeah, they didn't get in. And if I ever acted out or raised my voice, which is something that I used to do so much, I was just, called crazy, called names, and all these things, which is what is so common for women to do. Also, a lot of men would think like, well, you know what, the fact that I pay, the rent, and I didn't have a boyfriend or ever anyone who paid the rent except for like my dad, obviously, when I lived with him, and then for a period of time when I was in college. After that, he didn't worry about anything, for no rent, no food, no anything like that for me. Even though like my family members or cousins, they had their parents sometimes go visit them for a weekend, and all these things, right? And bring them some type of support, whether it was just food, groceries, or whatever. So I always had to find my way around. And I want women specifically, but also men, to know that even though you find yourself alone and you feel like you don't have that support, you can create it, you can find it. Now, it's not going to be easy, right? If you find yourself in a dark place like I did, it's not easy. Especially like on the internet, people are so mean. And this is the reason why I named these societies instead of just putting it on that one person, because I think as a society we have to elevate our consciousness. We have to understand that our words and our actions hurt others. I'm not saying that you shouldn't do things for yourself, because I think this is like a big manipulation too. If a woman wants to do something for herself, she's automatically called selfish, because I was raised in a family where if I thought of me, that wasn't good, right? Like, I have to think about my everyone else first, right? And to me, if I ever get to me, then maybe. uh and what I wanted to say with that is, my grandma, who was my main role model, she rarely did anything for herself, rarely. And there was some moments where she would do something for herself, and that is when we would go out, which was rare. um I see a lot of people joining. Hello, it's like it's moving so fast, it's really hard to say hi to everybody, but I really appreciate all of you being here for the conversation. Thank you. Same here on YouTube. But yeah, what I wanted to say is that, like, if we went out, hey little one, I have kittens around, and one of them is biting right here at the stand. No, no, do not. No, no, that's not a toy. um The iPhone stand, um, the tripod. Yeah, so if she took time to get ready because she really cared about how she showed up in public, specifically on events, otherwise she wouldn't really go out much in public, she would take her time to dress. And I, as a little girl, didn't really understand this either, right? How important it is as a woman to nurture yourself, whether that is like brushing your hair, because I remember she would like really take her time to brush her hair. She wasn't doing anything out of the ordinary, right? She would just like brush her hair, like she would take her time. But when I'm saying that, when I'm showing you this, I'm not exaggerating. She really took her time, and those moments were very, very few, like a few times a year. I don't want to exaggerate, but all right, maybe I feel a little bit more than that. But it really wasn't a lot. It wasn't every weekend. It wasn't every other weekend. I don't know, once a month. I would say that once a month is too much. Less than that. But growing up in a culture or in an environment where I always had to do everything for everybody else, and then realizing that I also have my own desires, and people around me saying, well, you know what, you have food on your table, and you have food on the table, and you have a bed to sleep in, is not enough. Women need more than that. And when people are being mean to you, somehow we internalize that a lot more. Why? Because we carry this weight of the emotional work. We do the emotional work for people. Not because men don't do it, but just because the way we're built. Like when the man goes to sleep at night and just like passes out in 2 seconds, the woman really thinks about the things that need to happen, what happened throughout the day. I don't know, like worrying about what needs to get done tomorrow. And I'm not saying that men don't worry, it just we do it in such a different way, with so much, like we go very deep, and we analyze every single thing and every detail. And then when we're not created or not provided a vessel or a way for us to deal or be able to actually have a conversation with someone who gives us that emotional support, it can be just one person in our lives. And I think most women don't even have that one person, because they're always running, even themselves often on a support for one another, because if one doesn't have it, the other one doesn't know how to support the friend or the mother or the sister or whoever it is. And we're also taught not to ask for what we want or what we need. And I think that's also something that society has told us. We're blamed, and we're saying, well, you didn't say what you wanted, but we're also not taught how to do that. If you ask for what you want and what you need, then you're being judged for it. So whichever way you look at it, it's hard to win. And I think this is the reason why so many women struggle. And I think this is why, and I understand that this person was dealing with a lot and had a supporting husband, loving husband, who did best he could to support her. But for the fact that the community would throw so much at her, and all negative, like a lot of negative comments, and the fact that this person was taking it personal, it means that we as a society have not given her a place where she can be herself, where she can contribute, helping the animals or whoever she's helping, while she's also being supported. And rather than being knocked over and being judged at every single step she takes, which I'm positive that there were some mistakes, but most of the things that this person was doing, they were not mistakes. They were like with so much love and care. When you find people, specifically women, who give so much of themselves, but then they're met with negative comments, judgments, being told they're not doing enough, being told, you shouldn't do this, do something else instead. um that's where the problem comes in, and that's where we as society fail, because create we don't create that safe space so that woman could express, so a woman could create a different way of living. This person was helping foxes and other animals, which means that this person was doing something outside of the patriarchal way of just here's a product and give you money. This person was changing something at the foundation of our society, helping the environment, helping animals, helping those who cannot speak for themselves. And when we fail to create space for this type of humanity, which is so much needed, specifically right now, we're basically um, we're basically hurting ourselves, all of us. It's not that this person was hurt; it's the society as a whole is hurt. And I have some notes here, but I haven't been looking at them because I've been just talking from expressing from my perspective on this. Though all of it is my perspective, everything that I'm saying here in this live is just my experience. Because, for example, I am a high sensitive person, and something that I learned, and in the corporate world, I struggled so much to connect with people, because in the corporate world, people really don't care about other people, like they say they care, and maybe there's like a little bit of care, but in the end of the day, they're just there for a paycheck. Whatever happens to your life, whatever happens to you, it's whatever, that it's, they don't care about that. It's like whatever, right? So because that happens, a lot of some people can survive in that environment, maybe because they also have a good support system. But for example, I didn't have any support system outside of just myself, and then going to work and being mistreated at work, or being misunderstood, or trying to communicate, or struggling because I'm new at it, I'm trying to learn. um it really creates like a problem for me, but also for other people. And the problem is not because I'm not capable of it, but because there's no support system to support a person who is dealing outside of it. And I know, yes, the corporate world, um there's a lot like, yeah, why didn't you go, and we do have resources. But what I learned from those resources is that people talk, like they're not supposed to share information, but information gets shared. Information is not supposed to be shared. And I know I cannot specifically control this whole system as a whole. I do believe that with this video, I can at least provide to some of you a little bit of understanding that you're not alone, that I went through it, and I was alone for many years until I felt like I was creating more of a support system where I was starting to love myself and appreciate myself. And I found the right help as well, because when I originally looked for help, I struggled to find the right therapist or the right people who would actually understand me. Also, the price is like ridiculous. It's really hard in the United States to find some type of assistance. Well, now there's more online stuff, but when I was doing it 10 years ago, there was not online help. Like BetterHelp, I think it just was starting out, and I discovered it eventually. But when I originally started, I didn't even know of BetterHelp, for example, right? And because I didn't know of all these services, or they didn't exist, it was hard for me to find support. And look at here, she's sleeping here. And um I just wanted to tell you that you're not alone, and that even though it's hard work, to search for that help, to search for that support, whether that is therapy, whether that is talking to like a good friend who, to start with, I don't recommend staying there and just talking to your friends. I recommend that you find support outside of just like your friends and family. Even if you have a good support system, like they can be there to provide the support for you. But if you're completely alone, like the way I was, um try different things, try different people. Like I remember, I spoke to therapists. I didn't feel like this person was getting me right. Like I gave it a try, and I was glad that I didn't stay there. Like in that moment I felt like, oh, maybe I should stay here, maybe I shouldn't leave, like I need the support. But then as time went and I found the right support, I felt it was the right thing, because this person wasn't guiding me in the right direction. It was guiding me in a completely different direction. It was making me feel even worse about myself than I already felt, because this person clearly didn't care about the impact they were having. They just wanted the money. And if they keep you there where they make you feel worse about yourself rather than give you the guidance, so that within a period of time you don't need them anymore, because that's really what therapy should be about. I feel like we should be elevating, right? So originally I started with a set of therapy, and then I elevated, and then I started to work also with like career, and then I started working with therapists that were focusing on different areas of my life. And I think that's really what's like elevating is, because you deal with this, okay, you feel like you've handled that, and then, hey, you there? You've dealt with it, and then you're like, all right, well, now I'm ready for the next part. I'm gonna deal with this instead. So look for help, but if you don't find it right away, don't feel like everything is lost. The people who seek find. That's my really big belief. If you want to change your life, if you want to feel better about your life, you will find the right solution for you. It might not happen right away, but it will happen. So that's number one. And the other thing, I think even before you get to that, you do have to acknowledge that you are dealing with something. A lot of people, they make excuses. They say, well, I'm fine. We're all dealing with something. We all have some type of thing we have to deal with, trauma. We all have trauma, absolutely. But if your traumas are having you be in toxic relationships, having you get work in jobs that are toxic for you, they're not good for you, they're not really getting you the environment that you need, the pay that you need, the skills that you want to learn, you're not being treated well or fair, then in that case, it is you not acknowledging that you actually have some issue, some, I don't like calling it necessarily a problem, but it's a challenge in your life, and that this challenge is here to teach you something and to have you say, okay, enough. I'm gonna go and find the type of support, type of help, type of training that I need so I can deal with this. And I think when it comes to emotional part, that's something that is lacking so much in our society. So seek support, engage in self-care. One of the greatest things about emotional support is self-care. How do you acknowledge that you burn out? Because I lived in a burnout for a long time, and I don't think I even acknowledged it until I hit rock bottom. That's how I acknowledged that I am burning out and that I just can't anymore. And I think that's what happens to most of us. But if you're really tired and you're like getting 5 to 6 hours of sleep, don't make it an excuse. Oh, you know what, it's normal, I can function on 5 hours, 6 hours, 4 hours of sleep. No, no, that's you pretending that you're functioning. You're not functioning human. If you can function that well at 5 hours sleep, imagine how much you can do if you got your 7, 8, or 9 hours of sleep. Like, you would double. You would like it's incredible. And I think this is something that people do not recognize, or they don't want to recognize. So acknowledge. The other thing you need to do is you set boundaries. If somebody's draining your energy, if somebody's in fact impacting you emotionally so hard, to the point where if you talk to them, you are left in distress, then you need to set boundaries with these people. I did this, and not just set boundaries, I completely cut them out. Like, one of those things, it was my dad. I cut him out of my life for a period of time because this person was not acknowledging that his words and his actions are hurtful to me. In his eyes, he's not doing anything wrong. And I'm like, but you're doing so much. Um, Honestly, also something similar with my mom. I barely had a relationship with her, but I remember interacting with her like a few times while I was trying to build a relationship with her. And she was just saying some things that made absolutely no sense when she didn't, she was never there. She didn't raise me. She didn't take care of me. And I was like, um, I might have some upset with you, but I'm not like saying mean things to you. So you definitely don't have the right to say anything mean to me back, because you were never there. So you can't say these things to me. You can't treat me like that. Nonetheless, I am somebody who does try to build a relationship. I feel like there is a reason why these people are in my life. There's a reason why I have a mom like this and my father like this. It's for me to learn something from it, to grow from it, rather than think of it as an I mean, it's in a way an obstacle, but not an obstacle that I cannot surpass. I can completely heal this, surpass it. And I mean, I'm really happy to be discovering the person who's on the other side. I'm crossing that bridge right now, right? That's the reason why I'm able to have this video. I have to make this video with all of you because I feel like I am doing the work, the hard work that most people do not want to do. Another thing that you should do is practice self-compassion. Self-compassion is something that I lacked so much, and I discovered it as I was healing, is of how hard I was on myself non-stop. Oh, my computer is gonna die. How hard I was on myself non-stop. And because I was so hard on myself non-stop, I didn't really get a chance to allow myself to, because I was not being compassionate to myself, and I always felt there was something wrong with me and I should be somebody else instead of the person that I am, or I should be having a different life than the one that I'm having. And I'm like, all of these things are unfair, and they are unfair. I'm not saying they are fair at all. They are unfair. The truth is, at the same time, I don't have control over them. I have zero control of the most of the things that were happening to me at that time. So being compassionate with myself and realizing that I'm doing the best I can right now, specifically if I'm taking the action of looking for help, doing the work, both with a person, or with a coach or a therapist, in a group, by myself, like at home. If I'm doing all these things and I'm still being hard on myself, that means I'm not practicing any self-compassion. I'm not giving myself any love, any credit for the work that I'm doing. And when I started to give myself credit for the things that I do, and actually be able to see them, like, not pretend that I'm doing those things, but I'm actually doing it, whether it is, take a day off, which is something that I didn't learn in my family to do, to have some fun. This last week I had some fun, and I haven't had fun in a while, but it's obviously, that's not the only reason. Like, that's something I've been having in the back of my mind that I need to do, is have some fun. And then all of a sudden I was like, I'm doing it, and I'm like, it's summertime too, so it felt so good. And I made a decision, and I'm sharing with all of you, that from now on I'm gonna have some fun every single week. It is hard because I'm already thinking, it's today's what, Wednesday, and I'm like, I still have a lot of work to do. I didn't really share my YouTube video that I was editing yesterday, and I'm almost done with it. And then I wanted to do this live, and just being really hard on myself, I at the same time recognize I was like, you know what? The world is not ending. I'm not gonna share the video the day that I wanted to, which was yesterday. I wanted to share it and I let it go. I let it go. I was like, okay, no problem. I'll share it today. And if I don't share it today, it's gonna be tomorrow. First, I am being consistent. I promise at least one video a week. I'm already accomplishing this. This would be a second video, or would be like 4 days later. Yeah, it would be like a second video for the week. So, yay! Like I'm actually doing the work. Is it perfect? No. Does it have to be? No, absolutely not. So, yeah, it's another thing. The other thing that you can do is like create a personal space, which is very cool to me, like to the boundaries. So, personal having a room to yourself, if you're sharing it or like an apartment, like if I used to live with roommates and I was mainly in my room, but there were a few times where I requested that I can use the general space, but I just want to be by myself. And that felt so good. At first I felt weird and I felt like, oh, this is wrong, like, we're all paying rent here. But then I thought, excuse me, but then I thought about it. I was like, they're using it for their own space, whether they're doing yoga or whether they just want to read a book, they're using it. And sometimes, we were all in that space together, like somebody was doing something else, one other person was doing something else, doesn't matter, we were all doing different things. But there were moments where we just wanted to be in that space on our own, which was not our room, because it really does help to create a completely different perspective of where you live, how you feel, and taking up space. That thing about women struggling to take up space, it's real. We're always being told to like, play nice, be nice, smile, don't take too much space, like make sure you're like sitting in a certain way. Like right now I'm not sitting like that. I'm just chill and relax over here. Um but yeah, don't know if I shared exactly what I meant to share with this, but I think I don't want to make this a super long video. I just want to say that please be kind to people. You don't know what they're dealing with, and you also want to be kind to yourself, because I think the people that are mean to other people are not being nice to themselves. And even those people who think they're being nice to themselves, like, maybe a person is mean to somebody, like going to buy a bag because they're like, oh, I really like this, I don't know, designer bag, and I'm just gonna wear it and it's for me and I'm gonna treat myself really nice. If you're being mean to the person who is selling it to you, and you think you're only mean to that person but you're not mean to you, um sorry to break it to you, but that's not the truth. Internally, you are being as mean or even worse to yourself than you're being to that person. So instead of being mean to somebody, envying them for their strength, for dedication, for their hard work, look within you and see first, there's a possibility that you're working really hard and that you're very dedicated to whatever you're dealing with, and that maybe things aren't working out the way you would like to. That's the reason why you're hating on somebody else. Or maybe that's just not your strength. Look to see where your strength is. Maybe you're not the most hardworking person because you don't want to work 12 hours a day, but you are okay with 8 hours, and you're super creative, and those 8 hours is enough for you to accomplish something similar to the other person that you're hating so much on for no reason. So yeah, I think we just really need to reflect about, if we're hating on someone, why we're hating on them, and how are we treating ourselves, because everything that happens out there, it really happens in here first. So yeah, create that support, ask for help, and really really look at yourself, and why are you behaving this way, why are your thoughts like that, so that we can create a better world for all of us, and specifically for women who are really the ones carrying so much of the emotional weight for society, for the families, and for themselves. So we really need to create that environment so that we can as society do better, so we can I really believe that if we as a society handled our emotional and mental stuff, and then I think that our materialistic world would be even better, because we're so focused on the materialistic things that we forget and miss out on the things that we can't see, but we do feel them, and we see them with our senses, and they impact our state, and that's how we treat us and others. I really think that we would have even a better materialistic world. Like, you think about it, like, if we have an iPhone, if we were aligned emotionally, mentally, and like spiritually, because that's part is connected to the spiritual world as well. Imagine how much better of a gadget we would have, because we were doing it from a place of intuition rather than from a place of give me this, all these things that a lot of them we don't use. Like my iPhone, I don't use most of the features that it has, right? But it feels cool to have it, right? And I think that's for everybody, for all of us. So give yourself some love, give yourself some care, give yourself a hug, some compassion. And from being here, just reflect inwards with so much love and see, okay, I would love to improve this thing about myself. And I would, with that, I would accomplish X, Y, and Z. I would be able to have the career that I want, a relationship I have. I'll be able to feel, really good about myself when I look in the mirror. Whatever your goal is for your life, you will accomplish it. I really believe that. And that's the reason why I'm making these videos, because I really feel like if I talk to all of you, even if you're here for a few seconds, if I can leave you with something beautiful and something powerful, because you have the power to change your life the way I'm changing mine. You have the power to create the life that you want, and you can start right now. I guarantee you that if you just do something that would take 1 minute, 1 minute, and if you do that over and over again, you already changed the direction of where your life is headed. So you'll be able to look 5 years from now and you'll be like, oh my God, that day I made this choice and I took this action, and that changed the rest of my life. That's how it went for me. So I hope that you do the same thing. Sending you lots of love. Bye.